I lost everything. My job, my home, the people I loved. I thought God had turned his back on me. But what I didn't know was he was giving me the one thing I never truly had: myself. Sometimes the breakdown is the beginning of the breakthrough. Let's start the life-changeable story. I used to think I had it all: a good job, a stable relationship, people who respected me, a clear path in life. Everything felt safe, predictable, controlled, until it all collapsed like a house made of sand. It started slowly. First, my job was gone. Downsizing, they said. I smiled, said I understood, but deep down, I was shaking. That job wasn't just my income. It was my identity. I worked for years to get there. Late nights, sacrifices, stress, all wiped away with a single meeting. Still, I told myself it would be okay. I had savings. I had someone beside me. We'd figure it out. But then came the second blow. My partner, the one I thought would stand by me, started pulling away. At first, it was silence, then distance, and eventually, the words I feared the most: "I don't think we're meant to be anymore." Just like that, the person I leaned on vanished. And it didn't stop there. Within weeks, my savings started to run dry. Unexpected expenses hit me. Rent, medical bills, everything came at once. The world didn't stop because I was in pain. It just kept moving, fast. And I was falling behind. Every night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering the same prayer: "God, what are you doing? Why are you taking everything from me?" There were days I didn't want to get out of bed. Days I didn't shower. I didn't answer messages. I ignored calls. I felt ashamed to admit what I was going through. So I isolated myself. I disappeared into silence. I stopped recognizing the person in the mirror. I remember one night specifically. It was raining. I was sitting on the floor, lights off, hugging my knees to my chest. I hadn't eaten all day. My stomach was empty, but my heart was heavier. Tears rolled down silently. I didn't even sob anymore. I had cried so much that the pain had no sound left. I whispered, broken, "God, if you're there, please, just give me something, anything, a sign, a reason, a purpose, or even an end." And then silence. No voice from the sky, no miracle, just silence. But something strange started happening in that silence. I began hearing something else, my own voice, not the one that pretended for others, not the one that smiled through the pain, the real one, the one I had ignored for years. It told me things I didn't want to hear, but needed to. That I was chasing people who never truly saw me. That I was staying in situations out of fear, not love. That I'd built a life on what I thought others wanted, not what I needed. It was like the universe, or God, was stripping away everything that wasn't me. At first I was angry, hurt, confused, but slowly that pain turned into space. And in that space, I began to rebuild. Not my career, not a new relationship, but me. I started small. I made my bed every morning, even when I didn't feel like it. I walked outside for 10 minutes a day, even if my heart was heavy. I started journaling, not to be poetic, just to be honest. And most importantly, I started talking to God again. not with big fancy words, just honesty, rawness, tears sometimes, silence other times. I didn't ask for blessings, I asked for clarity. I asked him to show me who I was beneath the layers I had worn for so long. And that's when I started to see it. Maybe God didn't take everything away to break me. Maybe he did it to save me. Because what I called everything was actually holding me back. A job that drained me, a relationship that didn't see my soul, a lifestyle that kept me busy but not fulfilled. Yes, it hurt to lose it all. But in that loss, I found something I had never truly known. Myself. Not the version others liked, not the version I built to survive, but the one God created, the one who could sit in silence and still feel worthy, the one who didn't need titles or relationships or approval to matter. I was rediscovering my own soul. I started seeing beauty again, in little things, a hot cup of tea, a bird on a windowsill, the way the sky turned pink in the evening, things I used to ignore when I was too busy chasing more. I began to understand. Sometimes God removes everything you cling to, not to punish you, but to return you to what you truly need, yourself, your peace, your soul, and your connection with Him. But just when I thought the storm had passed, God tested me one last time, and that test changed everything, forever. I thought the worst was over. I had started to rebuild myself. I was learning to breathe again, smile again. I even began to feel a small flame of hope flickering inside me. But just when I thought I had passed the storm, another wave came. My health. I started waking up with strange pains in my chest, dizziness, exhaustion that made walking across the room feel like climbing a mountain. Doctors ran tests, and more silence. It wasn't life-threatening, they said, but it was serious. It would take time, rest, patience, things I didn't have in abundance. And in that moment, I broke again. Why, God? I thought we were past this. I already lost so much. Why this now? I felt like I was being punished again, like healing was just an illusion. I had taken one step forward, and now I was falling 5 steps back. But then, something different happened. I didn't run, I didn't numb the pain, I didn't beg for things to go back to normal. This time, I listened. I slowed down, I stopped trying to fix everything, and in that stillness, something began to unfold inside me, something I had never felt before. Surrender, not giving up, giving in to God's plan, to trust that even this pain had a reason, even this delay had purpose, even this weakness was sacred. In my weakest moment, I found a strange kind of strength, not the strength to fight, but the strength to accept. I began to see a pattern in everything I had been through, every loss, every silence, every no, every breakdown. They were all connected. They weren't random, they weren't cruel, they were surgical, precise, intentional. Like a divine sculptor, God was carving away everything that wasn't me. He was breaking the false layers. He took away the version of me that pretended to be strong but was crumbling inside. He removed the people who only loved the surface, not my soul. He ended the jobs and relationships that kept me trapped in fear and ego. And He brought me back to my knees. Not as a punishment, but as an invitation to come back to Him. To realize that I was never meant to carry everything alone, that I didn't have to have it all figured out, that even in my emptiness, I was still enough. Because I wasn't just being emptied, I was being prepared. Prepared to love from a deeper place, to live from a more honest place, to walk with humility, compassion, and peace. The kind of peace the world can't give and can't take away. That's when I began to pray differently. I stopped asking for things and started thanking Him for things I couldn't yet understand. Thank you for the job I lost because it led me to my purpose. Thank you for the people who left because they made space for those who will truly see me. Thank you for the pain because it brought me to my knees, and from that place, I could finally rise again. That's when it truly hit me. God didn't take everything from me, He took everything that wasn't meant for me, and in return, He gave me the one thing I had forgotten I ever needed, myself. Not the broken, bitter version, not the lost, confused one, but the healed, present, grounded self. The self that no longer begged for love, but became love. The self that no longer feared endings, but welcomed them as beginnings. The self that didn't worship comfort, but honored growth. And more than anything, the self that trusted God. Not just when things were good, but even in the silence, even in the pain, even in the unknown. Sometimes, God doesn't answer your prayers the way you imagined, because He's too busy giving you what you truly need. Not the life you planned, but the life that sets your soul free. I look back now, and I don't wish for the old life anymore. I don't miss the people who left. I don't crave the job that once defined me. I don't long for the comfort that kept me numb. Because now, I have something more valuable than all of it. I have peace, I have truth, I have God, and I have myself. And that is everything. If you're going through a season of loss, if it feels like God is taking everything from you, please hear me when I say this. He's not breaking you, He's rebuilding you. He's not punishing you, He's protecting you. He's not silent, He's speaking. Through every closed door, every heartbreak, every delay, you're not being abandoned, you're being guided back to the version of you that's whole, strong, and beautifully connected to Him. Let go, trust, and remember, sometimes God takes everything just to give you yourself back. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more real stories, healing words, and spiritual guidance. You never know whose life you might change just by sending them this message. Stay strong, stay connected, stay faithful,